Hello, here we are again. I thought I should veer from high power rifles and maybe talk about 22s. And as you might expect, I have an entire vault of 22s. I tried to buy the ones that were historically significant, but I ended up buying all kinds of different 22s. Why? Because 22s and air rifles are, practically speaking, the guns we shoot more often than any other. And I'm sure there are exceptions out there, and maybe some of you are lucky enough to shoot high powers all the time. I'm not one of the lucky ones. So I tried to buy 22s that are interesting, and I've got a really interesting 22 for you today, made in France. The company is Gevarm, Gevarm. Maybe some of you already know about these 22s, and what's interesting about them, well, there are a whole bunch of reasons they're interesting. But we'll start out with the action. So we open this action. This is a semi-automatic 22, and you probably can see the magazine is different from other 22s. Why is it different? Because it's 22 short only. 22 short is a fantastic round. It's almost silent, and as I'm sure most of you know, what you can do with a 22 short is remarkable. So here we go. We've got a removable magazine. This is the action. Now, you're all familiar with this motion that's common to all 22 semi-automatics, except for one thing. I pulled the bolt back and it stayed back, which normally would mean that the magazine is empty, and it is empty. But the reason that it stayed back for this particular firearm is that it's now ready to fire. You don't close the bolt to fire this 22. This is what's called an open bolt action. This is not unique to 22s. I just fired the 22. Now you could see that when I pulled the trigger, and I'll repeat this motion, the bolt flew forward. Now, as you know from my lectures on firearms design, simplicity is the key to everything with gun design, and actually everything in life in general, but that's another subject. Anyway, by making this a slam fire, so when this moves forward, the 22 fires, then when I pulled the trigger, this bolt moved forward, it stripped a 22 short cartridge off the magazine, put it in the chamber, and fired it all in one motion. The firing pin is the face of the bolt. The bolt has two buttons on it, for lack of a better word, and they fired the rimfire cartridge. So we'll do this again just because it's probably my favorite. I know everybody loves Ruger 1022s, and that's good. I like this Gevarm. It's a fantastic action. Almost no moving parts. Of course, now the cartridge would have caused the action to fly back, and I would fire it again. So it fires from an open bolt, and there were other 9mm and I think even 45 ACP firearms made without a conventional firing pin, the firing pin being part of the bolt assembly, and that's what the Gevarm is. It came with all these stainless steel magazines. What does this have? I don't know, 10, maybe even 20. And I tried hard. I put all kinds of stuff in here. I put CCI, CB caps, and Winchester Super X, and I mix and matched every kind of 22 short that I had, and it cycled everything. And then it has a little feature here where if you want to lock the bolt up for whatever reason, now it's on safe, because this gun is a little different. You don't close the bolt and put it on safe. When you close the bolt, the gun fires. So this holds the bolt back. And I'll just spin it around in case you wanted to buy these. They're hard to find, but they are around. They made different models. It's tricky for the camera to record. This is probably the hardest one to find in 22 short. And you can see this was made at a time when firearms were still being made to a decent standard. It's got a good stock, and you can see the barrel profiling. they turned the barrel down here. Then there's a step. This is all done on a lathe, and then there's another step, and then here's the front sight, which is again on another milled island. And actually this front sight has a crosshair in it, which would work together with a aperture sight, or rather a rear sight that has a corresponding structure in it. Sorry, I'm running out of words. Anyway, I didn't get this rear sight, so I just put a scope on it and it's fine. And then, interestingly, on the buttstock, this is going to be hard, but you can see that they even branded the stock. And this is good quality European walnut. So, yeah, there's only so much you can say. I'm not sure if we were able to focus in on that. But the main thing is that it fires from an open bolt. So clean, so simple, very few moving parts, exceptional accuracy, and in 22 short. And by the way, I guess some manufacturers watch my videos. Anyway, that's what I'm told. It would be nice if we had more 22 short semi-automatic rifles. 22 short is a sort of an unsung hero, very useful, and especially with all this urbanization happening, 22 short solves an awful lot of problems. It's virtually silent without a silencer, as I've probably said before. And in a semi-automatic, I mean, we've got the Browning semi-automatic, you know, the one that ejects from the bottom. I had a couple of those, and this is far superior to the Browning. But I think we need a Ruger 1022 and 22 short. So Ruger, please go ahead and make one of those. Or Marlin, somebody make a 22 short semi-auto. It's what the market needs, and you'll sell a train load if you go ahead and manufacture that. About it. And yeah, it's a takedown too. It has the obvious. Whenever you see this kind of screw in a firearm, great big oversized screw, that means it's designed for a coin or something like that, and this takes down into 2 pieces in about 30 seconds. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll do some more. Take care.